Celebrity worship has gotten out of control, you guys. The Swifties are absolutely losing their minds that Taylor Swift is friendly with Brittany Mahomes. And they had some pictures taken together last weekend at the US Open, and many tears are being shed. The shock, the horror. So let's break it down and talk about a few things that this meltdown represents in our culture. And then we're going to also talk about Taylor Swift's official endorsement of Kamala Harris, which just came out. But first, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, please. So Brittany Mahomes, wife of Pat Mahomes, who's a quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs, she recently liked a post on Donald Trump's Instagram page. It was a post called the 2024 GOP platform, Make America Great Again, and it listed out all the policies that Trump and Vance's campaign is fighting for. Seal the border, stop migrant invasion, carry out the largest deportation operation in American history. Then it talks about making America the dominant energy producer in the world, large tax cuts for workers, defending our Constitution, preventing World War III, ending the weaponization of government against American people, etc. So you can see in this screenshot here that somebody screenshotted it to where you can see where Brittany Lynn, which is Brittany Mahomes' username on Instagram, she liked the post. People thought they were exposing her and they wanted to cancel her. And when people were bashing her for her support of Trump, she didn't back down. She actually kind of doubled down. She just went about her business on Instagram, didn't really respond to any of the backlash, certainly didn't make an apology or retract her like on the post. And she just kept posting things on Instagram normally and ignoring the mob, who was essentially demanding for her to be canceled and her life to be ruined because, heaven forbid, she has conservative values. Some people noticed that on another Instagram post here, she allegedly liked a couple of the comments of fans who were saying that they were supporting her. So this is a photo of just her as hashtag Abercrombie partner. And it was like, her game day look and just a t-shirt, shorts, and red sneakers. And in this post, there were a lot of comments of people who were like, I'm proud of you. I'm so proud of you in choosing your beliefs. Another person said, I will never understand why you want to live in a dictatorship. Oh, these people, their vote counts just as much as yours does. Someone said, good for you, girls. Stay strong. I'm now fully a Britney fan. And apparently she liked some of these comments of people who were saying that they supported her and her political beliefs and they were proud of her for not backing down to the mob. So apparently she liked these comments, and that infuriated the mob even more, of course. So that lays the foundation for the US Open last weekend, the final Grand Slam of the tennis calendar year. Taylor Fritz played Jannik Sinner. I'm a massive tennis fan. I watch all of the Grand Slams and all the matches. So it's funny that at one of the sporting events that I watch every year religiously, this is where all the drama took place. Taylor Fritz is an American player. This is the first time that an American player was in a Grand Slam final, I think in more than 20 years. So there were a lot of celebrities there. Taylor Swift was there with her boyfriend, Travis Kelce. And then the Mahomes were also there too. And they were kind of hanging out in a box up in the audience there. And people were freaking out when they saw the photos. Here they are hugging, they're smiling. Travis is looking at them and laughing. And then this person on Twitter said, okay, fun is over. They're losing their minds that, heaven forbid, Brittany and Taylor are friendly with one another. This person says, I don't expect a billionaire to lead the revolution or anything. I'm just confused as to why one would make a movie about standing up for what's right at any cost, only to literally never stand for anything again. So now that she's hugging Brittany Mahomes in a photo, Taylor Swift never stands for anything ever again. These people are so dramatic. Another person says, I don't think Taylor Swift is a Republican, but I do think she's an out-of-touch Democrat billionaire who believes that you can separate politics from relationships because she will be protected from everything. I can see her still endorsing Kamala, but the damage is still done, and even that is a maybe. Okay, and so now we know that as of today, Taylor Swift did in fact endorse Kamala, which we'll get into. But there's a couple of things that I want to talk about here based on all of these hysterical responses. And there are many more. I actually saved a couple more. And then the Swifties who were getting upset about all this, they ended up putting their account on private because a lot of people were like in the comment section, are you okay? Or you sound mentally unstable if this upsets you this much. But I just want to say this. Most people would be shocked to learn just how many athletes and celebrities and actors and their wives and girlfriends or boyfriends or husbands are actually fairly conservative, if not Trump MAGA supporters. You would probably be surprised. And anyone who has worked in media or who has brushed shoulders with anyone in the media knows this to be true. And I've said this before on my channel. When I used to work for Candace, and this is no secret, she said this before on her show as well. There are a lot of A-list celebrities that message conservative influencers like Candace, and they talk about how much they support them, how much they agree with them and their values. They're just not at a point in their career where they can come out and essentially commit career suicide and admit that they're conservative. I mean, you would not, the tea that I have, and I'm sworn to secrecy, but you would not believe the A-list names, household names that you probably love and adore, and that many of these fans, people who love celebrity culture, they love to follow all of the athletes and celebs and singers. You'd be surprised at how many of these A-list celebrities actually love people like Trump and people like Candace and a lot of commentators like Candace. And I don't know why so many of these little minions would act so shocked and surprised when a celebrity reveals their conservative leanings. I mean, I know why. It's because people have been programmed to believe that anyone who disagrees with them is a racist, bigot, homophobe, any phobe that you can think of. So anyone who disagrees with them is automatically all of these things. So the way that people are freaking out over Taylor's friendship with Brittany is, to me, indicative of a culture that is a sick culture that turns celebrities into gods. And Taylor Swift, for sure, as we've seen many times, has the most, we'll start out by saying nicer things about them. They are the most dedicated, loyal fan base, but they are also the most insecure, unhinged fan base. And I'm not one of those Taylor Swift haters. I feel like most people either love Taylor Swift or they absolutely hate her. I'm honestly not in either camp. I don't particularly like her music. A couple of her songs are really catchy. But I don't hate her. I'm not one of those people who thinks that she's this crazy cat lady who is ruining culture. Like, I don't even necessarily think that about her. I'm just kind of neutral on Taylor Swift, but I can recognize that her fan base can be really insecure and unhinged. And one of the reasons they are is because they have a bad habit of making celebrities like Taylor Swift their heroes and their moral compass. The whole Blake Lively debacle, my first video I did on her was about how celebs at her level just pretend to care about moral issues. And I don't know why, I don't know when exactly we shifted from enjoying celebrities and actors exactly as they are to expecting them to be these moral leaders who are going to be the mouthpiece for all marginalized people. Like, why is an actress like Blake or a singer like Taylor suddenly assigned this role of moral compass when not that many years ago, like the golden years of the 90s and the early 2000s, celebrities were just that. They were just celebrities. They were just famous people that normal people liked to watch. It was entertaining. It was fun. And it was sort of escapist content. But now, for some reason, we expect all of these celebrities and singers and actresses to be a moral compass. And I don't know why we've arrived here. And also, people have fallen so hard for the division and the propaganda that they cannot imagine that two human beings may have different beliefs politically and they would still be friends. I remember a time where people intentionally chose not to let politics divide them. Like, I even remember a time where there was a sort of unspoken agreement. And this was when I was younger, when I was like a teenager, I would hear adults be like, let's just not talk about politics. Let's just like have fun and enjoy each other. Let the kids have fun. Let's just hang out. I remember a time when people intentionally chose not to let politics divide them. And now people will find any reason for politics to divide families, to break up relationships, to ruin friendships. You guys, this is certifiably nuts. It's crazy. It's nuts that you would allow somebody's political beliefs to just be a reason to cut someone out of your life forever. No wonder there are such high rates of mental illness and loneliness. Like, even the epidemic of loneliness is a real thing. In 2023, the U.S. Surgeon General's advisory on the healing effects of social connection and community, they named loneliness and isolation a major epidemic last year. And there was a whole letter from the Surgeon General about it. And they released this entire document about why social connection matters. And they talked about the current trends. And this letter from the Surgeon General says, in 2014, I didn't view loneliness as a public health concern. And then he embarked on a cross-country listening tour and hearing all these stories. And he says loneliness is far more than a bad feeling. It harms both individual and societal health, et cetera, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, there are very high rates of loneliness and mental illness. And we are sitting here acting like it's a good thing to completely kick somebody out of your life because they have different political beliefs than you do. Like, it's no wonder so many people are suffering mentally and emotionally because they have fallen for this ridiculous propaganda that you are not allowed to be friends with anyone unless they agree with you 100% because there's some kind of monster if they don't agree with you. So I lived in San Francisco from 2017 to very early 2020. I got out like right before the pandemic. Luckily, it was actually crazy timing. But when I lived there, so remember, San Francisco is the most liberal city in the entire country. There's no doubt about it. But when I lived there, I had extremely conservative beliefs and values. I did. And you know what? I made friends, no problem. No problem. I had no problem making friends and keeping friends and having a robust social life because I'm a normal human being. And so were my friends. I have a good friend, for example, and we talk about this all the time. She's very supportive of abortion. She and I differ on things like federally mandated maternity leave, and she doesn't like Trump. But we can talk about these things and we can still have discussions. And we kind of find it amusing that we disagree on stuff, but we don't think that each other are monsters. I don't understand why people think that you are not allowed to be friends with someone just because they have slightly different beliefs than you do. So bringing all this back to Taylor, she officially announced her endorsement for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. She posted a picture of her and a cute cat, and this photo was from, you may remember, the Time magazine cover that she did. This was from that photo shoot. Like many of you, I watched the debate tonight. If you haven't already, now is a great time to do your research on the issues at hand and the stances these candidates take on the topics, blah, blah, blah. So she talked about how Donald Trump shared that AI thing of her like endorsing him. That was actually kind of funny. And she said, I'm casting my vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz in the 2024 presidential election. I've done my research. I've made my choice, etc. With love and hope, Taylor Swift, childless cat lady. And this, of course, is meant to be a dig at JD Vance and his interview on Tucker when he was talking about childless cat ladies. I covered that a few videos ago. But here's the thing that's really interesting about Taylor's post. She turned the comments off. She is not allowing anybody to respond to her take. She has totally turned the comments off. And that's because she knows that most people are going to come into her comment section and just rip her apart. Look what happened to Jessica Alba. I also covered that a few videos ago. Jessica Alba posted a picture from the DNC of the Obamas and talked about hope and supporting Harris and Walz, and she got decimated in the comment section. She ended up having to delete all the comments and turn them off, and people still flooded to her other Instagram posts to give her a piece of their mind. And that's because a lot of people are waking up to understand that a lot of the things that we were told about the Democrats and the left has just been a total lie. And this is opportune timing, considering that this entire week people have been talking about Taylor being friends with Brittany Mahomes. So I think that her PR team made a really good move, and they're like, let's release this now, right after the debate. Let's have Taylor endorse Kamala now so we can sort of erase the PR debacle of Taylor Swift being associated with a MAGA supporter. Okay, so you may disagree with me, but I actually think that Taylor's willingness to be friends with Brittany and vice versa is a sign of maturity. It's a sign that both of these women see each other as women, as human beings, before they see each other as these like political units that are meant to be used in this political war. And there are many human experiences outside of politics that I think we miss out on because we've become so divided, and so many of us have become so convinced that politics are everything and that your politics define you and define everything about you. So although I don't support Taylor and her politics, I definitely don't agree with her probably on anything politically, maybe a couple of things. I actually think it's a healthy sign that she is nice and friendly to Brittany Mahomes. Who knows how close they actually are? They might just be like friendly in social settings. And even that, I think, is a healthy sign because it indicates that these are both mature enough women to where they're not going to be rude and mean to each other because they're on different ends of the political spectrum. So that's just my thoughts. I mean, I would venture even to guess that Taylor Swift has probably matured a little bit over recent years from her past, you know, that 2020 Miss Americana movie or documentary or whatever she did where she was like crying and talking about how she has to support Trump no matter what. I mean, I don't think that version of Taylor would have been friendly with Brittany Mahomes. But, you know, I think that, look, I get that it's a heated presidential election, but let's not forget that you are allowed to have conversations and even friendships with people who have different beliefs. So let me know what you think in the comment section. Maybe you're here and you're a Swiftie and you hate me and disagree with me. That's fine. But I want to know what you guys think. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.